One moment they were in the spotlight, the next they vanished without a trace, leaving behind nothing but unanswered questions and chilling mysteries. A beloved actor, last seen getting into a car with an unidentified man, never to be heard from again.
And she said, "Mom, what would you say if I told you somebody was trying to kill me?"
A famous NBA player disappears at sea with 3 others, suspected to have been murdered by his own brother.
That's when I started to call them over and over again, and I could never get a hold of Bison or Serena.
And a rising star, who left behind a cryptic note, only to vanish into thin air, never to be found. Brace yourself as we uncover the eerie cases of missing celebrities who were never found.
You mean to eat?
Yeah, to eat and drink.
Well, I carried some water, of course, because my cockpit is very warm.
She set out to make history, but became one of its greatest mysteries. On July 2nd, 1937, Amelia Earhart, the world's most celebrated aviator and the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean, vanished with her navigator Fred Noonan over the Pacific Ocean during their attempt to circumnavigate the globe.
There was no mayday call. There was no distress call.
Their last radio transmission to the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Itasca indicated they were running low on fuel and flying north and south near Howland Island. But after that, silence.
We are on the line of position 157337. We'll repeat this message on 6210 kilocycles.
Despite an unprecedented search effort involving 4 ships, 4,000 personnel, and $4 million authorized by President Roosevelt, no trace of Earhart, Noonan, or their Lockheed Electra was ever found. Most experts believe they ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean near Howland Island. However, alternative theories persist. Some suggest they survived temporarily on Nikumaroro, Gardner Island, supported by reports of radio signals and artifacts. Others speculate they were captured in the Marshall Islands. Decades later, fragments of evidence continue to surface, but fail to solve the puzzle. Amelia Earhart disappeared chasing the skies she loved and became an enduring legend, forever lost, forever remembered. One moment he was soaring toward history, then he was gone. On December 15, 1944, Glenn Miller, the legendary bandleader behind In the Mood and Moonlight Serenade, boarded a small military plane from England to Paris. He was set to entertain U.S. troops during World War II, but somewhere over the English Channel his plane disappeared without a trace.
Major Glenn Miller, director of the U.S. Air Force Band, is missing on a flight from England to Paris, it was announced today.
No wreckage, no bodies, no definitive answers. Investigators concluded that freezing temperatures likely caused fuel line icing, leading to engine failure and an immediate crash into the channel.
We checked out the anti-icing and de-icing equipment to the best of my knowledge, and it was well equipped with that phase of equipment.
While some speculated about friendly fire or secret missions, these theories have been largely discredited by historical records and expert analysis. For nearly 80 years, theories have swirled, but Glenn Miller remains lost to history, his music still playing, his fate still unknown. At 5 p.m. on October 7, 1949, aspiring actress Jean Spangler kissed her daughter goodbye and walked into the night, never to be seen again. She told her family she was meeting her ex-husband, then heading to a film shoot. She never returned.
Basically, she left at 5:30, and she came down the stairs. It was a 2-bedroom apartment in the old Metropolitan Insurance Housing Unit. Sophie, her sister-in-law, was downstairs with Jean's daughter and Sophie's daughter.
2 days later, her purse was found in Griffith Park, its strap torn. Inside was a cryptic note mentioning someone named Kirk, a doctor, and an urgent meeting. Some speculated a secret affair with Hollywood legend Kirk Douglas. Others whispered of dangerous connections, an illegal abortion, a mob entanglement.
Well, it's time for a little Hollywood house cleaning, folks. Cast of characters involved in Gene Spangler's strange disappearance include disgruntled ex-lovers, a backroom abortionist, a mob kingpin, and a major movie star.
But no body, no evidence, and no answers ever emerged. Gene Spangler disappeared into the shadows of Hollywood, leaving behind only questions and a mystery that still haunts Tinseltown.
Dirt on you's enough to grow potatoes in.
Never mind the dirt. I'm hungry. Get me something to eat.
Born into Hollywood royalty, Sean Flynn could have lived a life of luxury. Instead, he chose danger. The son of legendary actor Errol Flynn, Sean became a daring war photojournalist, capturing the brutality of Vietnam. On April 6, 1970, while on assignment in Cambodia, he and fellow journalist Dana Stone rode motorcycles into peril, heading for a Viet Cong checkpoint on Highway 1. It's believed they were captured by Viet Cong guerrillas and later handed over to the Khmer Rouge, but what happened next remains a haunting mystery. Were they executed? Did they die in captivity? Rumors surfaced of mass graves and secret prisons, but no conclusive evidence was ever found.
This was torturous, and I can only imagine the other families that are suffering over their missing child.
Declared legally dead in 1984, Sean Flynn remains one of war journalism's great unsolved disappearances. He traded Hollywood for history and vanished into its shadows.
I'll tell you a story about Johnny McClory.
In the 1950s, Connie Converse was a pioneering folk singer in New York, crafting poetic and ahead-of-her-time ballads.
In between two tall mountains.
Though she performed at intimate gatherings and made a brief TV appearance, fame eluded her. Eventually, she moved to Michigan, where she continued to write and record music, though not for public release. Then, in 1974, just after her 50th birthday, Converse wrote farewell letters to friends and family, stating she was starting anew. She packed her belongings, got into her car, and was never seen again. She asked those closest to her not to search for her, leaving behind only mystery. Did she reinvent herself? Did she meet a tragic fate? No records, no sightings, no clues have ever surfaced.
Connie Converse somehow found the means to do what she said she wanted to do in her goodbye letter, which was...
Yet decades later, her haunting melodies were rediscovered through a radio show, making her a celebrated folk pioneer. Connie Converse's fate remains one of music's greatest mysteries, but her In 1975, folk rock artist Jim Sullivan embarked on a solo journey from Los Angeles to Nashville, seeking a fresh start. A musician with connections to Hollywood's elite, including Dennis Hopper, Sullivan had struggled with personal demons and a stagnant career. His wife Barbara A. and his son awaiting his call to join him once he settled.
Jim felt that he could make a better progress with his career.
Sullivan's path took him through Santa Rosa, New Mexico, where he was pulled over by police but passed a sobriety test. He checked into a motel, purchased vodka, and left town. The next day, his Volkswagen Beetle was found abandoned at a remote ranch with his money, papers, guitar, clothes, and unsold records still inside. He was never seen again. Some speculate he wandered into the desert, succumbing to its vastness. Others suggest foul play. Then there's the haunting theory. His 1969 album UFO, filled with lyrics about desert highways and alien abductions, seems eerily prophetic. No body, no evidence, no answers. Just an artist lost in time, his voice echoing through the years.
Number 59, Tammy Lynn Leppert.
One day she was a rising star. The next, she was gone. Tammy Lynn Leppert was a model, actress, and beauty queen with a promising future, having appeared in films like Scarface.
Are the best, but I'll do my best no matter what.
But in 1983, at just 18 years old, she vanished without a trace. Before disappearing, Tammy had grown increasingly paranoid after a disturbing incident at a party related to the film Spring Break. She hinted at witnessing something dangerous, but never revealed what.
Tammy, what's the problem? I saw something awful. What? Something really bad.
She said, Mom, what would you say if I told you somebody was trying to kill me?
Her fear for her life intensified, and she became withdrawn. On July 6th, she got into a car with a friend, headed for Cocoa Beach, Florida. After an argument, her friend dropped her off near the glass bank. She was last seen trying to make urgent phone calls from a nearby public phone but never came back. Some believe she fled from an unknown threat. Others suspect foul play. But with no evidence, no body, and no answers, her case remains one of Hollywood's most chilling unsolved mysteries. What did Tammy know, and did it cost her everything?
We were like a rock band, but just the way we looked a bit different last year, and we started getting press in like New Musical Express and Melody Maker.
He was the tortured poet of Manic Street Preachers, a musician whose lyrics bled with pain and rebellion. But on February 1st, 1995, Richey Edwards vanished. That day, he was supposed to fly to the United States with bandmate James Dean Bradfield, but instead drove back to Cardiff, dropping off his passport and credit cards. 2 weeks later, his car was found abandoned near the Severn Bridge, yet there was no body, no confirmed sighting, no closure. Some believe he ended his life, while others think he disappeared on purpose, escaping the pressures of fame. Edwards struggled with mental health issues, including depression, anorexia, and self-harm. His openness about these struggles resonated deeply with fans. Before he disappeared, a mysterious woman named Vivian visited him in his hotel room. Over the years, alleged sightings surfaced as far as Goa and the Canary Islands. In 2008, Richey was declared legally dead, but for fans the mystery remains. Did he truly fade away, or is he still out there, living in the shadows? The enigma of Richey Edwards continues to captivate, a testament to his enduring legacy as a lyricist and cultural icon. On November 30th, 2000, Scott Smith, the bassist for the Canadian rock band Loverboy, vanished into the Pacific Ocean. He was sailing his 37-foot boat, the Sea Major, from Vancouver to a marina south of Los Angeles, with friends Yvonne Mayotte and William Ellis. A massive wave hit the boat near the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, sweeping Smith overboard. Despite a thorough search by the Coast Guard and a private team, no trace of him was found. The water temperature was around 52 degrees Fahrenheit, making survival unlikely for more than a couple of hours. Born in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Smith was a founding member of Loverboy, known for hits like Turn Me Loose and Working for the Weekend. He co-wrote several songs including Lucky Ones. After Loverboy disbanded in 1988, Smith played with the band Dangerous and briefly worked as a radio DJ. Loverboy continued to tour after his disappearance, with Ken Spider Sineve joining as the new bassist in 2001. Smith's legacy lives on through Loverboy's music, a testament to his enduring impact on rock history.
Even though he's gone, and I wrote that song about how I felt stranded alone here without my best friend.
His family, including two sons, Spencer and Brandon, remembered him as an avid sailor and a beloved musician.
By Armstrong and Grant dishes to Bison Dele for the dunk.
He walked away from fame, fortune, and eventually from life itself. Bison Dele, an NBA champion with the Bulls, gave up basketball in 1995 to travel the world. In July 2002, he set sail from Tahiti with his girlfriend, Serena Carlin, skipper Bertrand Saldo, and his brother Miles DeBoer, with whom he had a strained relationship. None of them, except Miles, were ever seen again.
So when we didn't hear from her, I was distraught, and we knew nothing of where she was.
That's when I started to call them over and over again, and I could never get a hold of Bison or Serena.
Days later, Miles was found unconscious in Tijuana, Mexico, as investigators closed in, suspecting him of using Bison's identity for financial gain.
I told Serena's mom, I'll call the bank and I'll see if there's any transactions that are being made on Bison's account.
Miles died from an insulin overdose in a suspected suicide. Authorities believe he murdered Bison and the others, dumping their bodies into the Pacific. Bloodstains found on the boat supported this theory, but without bodies or definitive evidence, the mystery lingers. Bison Dele left the game on his own terms. But did he know he was sailing toward his final chapter? Fame couldn't protect them from the unknown. These celebrities disappeared without a trace, leaving behind a legacy of mystery, suspicion, and heartbreak. Were they victims of foul play? Did they choose to vanish? Or are there answers lurking just beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered? What do you think happened to them? Let us know in the comments. And if you want to dive deeper into Hollywood's most chilling mysteries, be sure to like and subscribe. Some secrets may never be solved, but we'll keep searching for the truth. Until next time, stay curious.